Hello, everyone, to the second episode of this podcast. First, get your cup of coffee, get cozy, and let's gossip. This time, we have two guests with us. One of them is a volunteer of the association, of our association, COSI, and the other is one of our mentors. First of all, I would like to introduce the ones who are working in this podcast. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Sergio. I will be the mediator of the conversation today. Also, here we have our producer, who is Isham. We have the person who is behind everything working here, the sound, all the technical stuff, who is Archibald. We have Rusala, who is taking pictures and doing the videos. And we have our mentor, who is Ilinka, and is here. Okay, so having made the introductions, first let's talk about what we are going to speak about today, which is going to be women's rights. And for this topic, we are going to first introduce Matilde. Hello, Matilde.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So Matilde is here because this week she has been working with the action team in the Women Advocacy Week. So first of all, we would like to know a bit about yourself, Matilde. So can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, I am Matilde. I'm from Italy. I'm 18 and now I'm volunteering in Romania, in COSI, and I'm really enjoying this time. And I really enjoyed this campaign. It is so important for me.
First of all, we would like to know what is the campaign that you are working right now on. Not only the action team, but all COSI. We are working in a campaign. So what is it about?
The campaign is called Discrimination Free February. So it's about discrimination, about raising awareness, about speak about discrimination, about stereotypes, about prejudice, about tolerance, to make people understand that these are, we can say, natural things, but we have to face them. So we have to work to avoid every type of discrimination or bad speaking.
That takes also knowing about all the different ways that discrimination appears and how we can tackle it, no?
Yes, of course.
And this week, what are you working on right now?
This week we are working on Women Advocacy Week. So we focused on women, how to stand for their right, how to be there for women, and how to act and promote against discrimination.
We know that here, well, there are many minorities that are discriminated in general in the world, but we want to know why you chose this topic specifically for the campaign here in Romania. Why women in Romania?
Because we made some researches, and actually in this campaign we had 3 weeks dedicated to different communities. The first one was Roma people, the second one is women, and the third one will be LGBT. So we did some researches and we came out that these are the topics that are most important in Romania, that are the most urgent, and so we felt that we needed to talk about this, to do something for the Romanian community.
Okay. Now, what about talking? What were the events that we did or you did this week? For example, some days ago we had the movie night. Can you tell us a bit about this?
Yes, we had this movie night. We decided that it was good for the people to watch a movie because it's a common language that everyone can understand, and it's really beautiful to watch a movie. Of course, we choose a good one. We made some researches, of course, also on this movie, and we chose this one that was talking about how the women get the right to vote in United States. So we, and of course also the participant had the occasion to understand better the process to have the right to vote in America instead in United States. So for us it was important because it's not it's important to have to understand how women got this right, because this is not I don't want to say a common thing, but it's a long process. So it's not made in one day.
It's long and complex, the
Yeah,
process
yeah.
in which they managed to get the
Yeah.
vote here and also in America.
Yeah. In every country, there is a big fight. Like the women's power is growing and growing and growing, and fortunately we have the right to vote right now. So yes, this was a big topic, and we wanted to represent with this movie because it's a really good movie, and people also enjoyed. All the participants were really happy about the movie because it gives a lot of input to also understand better, but in a more artistic way, we can say this.
We can say that stories are usually a good way to relate to topics. When we have examples of one problematic, it's easier to empathize if there is a story.
Yeah, because the person that is watching it feel closer to the cause.
I agree. If any one of our listeners wants to watch the movie, it is Iron Jod Angels, so you can know what we are talking about. And Matilde herself recommends the movie.
Yeah.
So, thank you for this explanation of the movie night. Let's pass to the next topic, which is the open talk that we had yesterday. It was really interesting, personally. But I want you to tell us about it because you were the moderator of the conversation of the open talk. So tell us, how was the experience? What did you talk about?
I was really happy to be the moderator because I really believe in this topic, of course. So it was important for me to moderate this open talk. And we had two parts, we can say this, Anes and Anais. That is, we had the national agency side and the non-governative organization side. So we had both of the perspective, and they could confront themselves, and they told to the participant, also to me, how they work and also how their work meet. So how they face this problem in reality and how they cooperate to solve this. And it was really important because we touched a lot of arguments. For example, the duality of being a mother and being a worker, or a political representation of women, also healthy issue, of course, violence, domestic violence.
I think one of the biggest challenges women still face today and have been facing for the past years is finding safety in asking for help. So I think we should provide a good safety for victims of domestic abuse and victims of gender-based violence, and I think we should make them trust the institutions a lot more. And we've seen a lot of we've seen the numbers going up in reporting, so there's small steps in that.
Crina Codrescu, from Agenția Națională pentru Egalitate de Șanse pentru Femei și Bărbați, talking about the most urgent issue that Romania should focus on regarding women's rights.
Women in Romania face different challenges, many challenges, and besides the physical need to be protected, it's really important to have education, to have close eye on what the society promotes about women, and in school as well, because lots of people come from dysfunctional families and they grow up being in a toxic environment, and they don't have the chance to address that situation, and they, because of the lack of education, they end up in their own toxic relationships, and they don't know how to seek help, and they don't know what's right or what's wrong, and I think the education is key.
Simona Filip, from Asociația Anaiți, talking about what is the biggest challenge that women face in Romania nowadays.
Maybe our listeners are asking themselves how they can come and attend these events in the future because we are planning more events to do. So, can you tell us how they can do so?
Yeah, you participant. You have a lot of ways to come to us. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, with COSI Romania. You can, of course, see every events that we post, like on these platforms. There is also a WhatsApp group in which we always update with events and stuff that we do. Really important is to fill the form to save your spot because spots are limited and we want good people, and so this is really important to do, to fill the form, so we are sure that we have a lot of people and these people really want to come.
Do so, please, because we have a lot of snacks here.
Yes,
So everyone enjoys a lot when they come to the events. Thank you, Matilde,
Thank you,
for this
Sergio.
intervention. We are going to pass to the next guest of our today's podcast. She is one of our mentors, and her name is Catalina. Welcome, Catalina, to our podcast.
Thank you, firstly, for having me here. How are you? Everything is all right?
Yes, it's going fine. In my side, how is it going for you?
Absolutely perfect. I really enjoy working at COSI and I really enjoyed having this campaign this month. Also, I wanted to emphasize the fact that the Women Advocacy Week was like a soul project for me.
So, Catalina, can you tell us a brief introduction about you, who you are, what are you doing here?
Firstly, I'm 24-year-old. I finished my bachelor's degree in international relations and European studies, and right now I'm following a master program in gender studies. Meantime, I'm working here at COSI as a mentor for our wonderful volunteers in the action team, and pretty much that's it about me.
Can you tell us more about what did you study, and also what was your motivation to study international relationships?
I have a big interest into politics. As I said, I'm following my international relations bachelor's degree with my master in gender studies, which is basically fully related to the political side in my point of view. And like my main motivation towards it is. I think about myself. I really like to tell this story. I was raised in a really welcoming, gender equal family, and I benefited from really good life perspectives and really good education towards equality. And growing up, being in social circles, in school, in high school, whatever, I saw a lot of discrimination and bad behaviors around me, and I really wanted to know more about it, to see what's happening, to see why it is happening, and what can I personally do about it.
It's very interesting that you talk about personal experiences that motivated you to do so. I think we all have had this kind of experiences in which we see some kind of unbalance between males and females, and we want to know more about these experiences. Maybe you can tell us something?
I don't fully consider myself a discriminated person or whatever, but still growing up, I could have seen some behaviors towards me or my female colleagues in school, in high school, in university, which were a bit different for us because we were women than how they were towards men. So I never understood why, as I said, being raised in a really equal family, like my parents raised me telling me, well, you can do whatever, you can be whatever, as long as you study what you want and you pursue your dreams. Literally, you should have no limits in your thinking and in your approach in life. And again, growing up, seeing these differences, made me question what is happening and why is it like this. And now I'm doing what I can do in order to change something, to find out more, maybe to influence as little as possible or as big as possible this topic.
So let's say that the way that we see women in society, it's what is creating this imbalance. There is an underrepresentation of women in society, in public institutions, for example, the government, governmental positions. What do you think about this?
Well, of course, Romania, as far as I know, is in one of the last spots in the gender equality index for since many years ago. We have really low political representation in the parliament. Also, the spots for women in general are limited, and I think this is one of our most urgent issues that we should tackle, because I mean, if you don't have a model to follow as a little girl, as a woman who is trying to grow, to develop herself, to do something with her future, if you don't have any models to follow, you feel like some positions for you aren't accessible, they aren't made for you, you don't have a place in there, because we are facing, at least since I know myself, I am facing this really masculinized environment in politics, which I think should be definitely changed.
What can we do in order to change this?
I mean, political implication in any terms would be really helpful towards gender equality. I strongly encourage everyone to act, to think, to try to do more. But also, in my opinion, we can also have some laws and regulations towards it, such as gender quotas or other political measures that we saw them working in other environments in other countries, but we never fully applied them, we never truly applied them, we never tried. We are just thinking, oh no, it won't work, we have lots of excuses, lots of reasons, but actually we never tried it, and we saw successful stories around the world with it.
I can say that that's true. In many countries, they have been applied, these quotas, and eventually they led to a much balanced society and balanced institutions.
Exactly, in order for you to have, as a state, to have gender equality, you should also have gender representation, because who else is gonna take care of women's problems, women's issues better than women? And basically we have no women there who are gonna stand up for ourselves, for the majority. We are a minority in the parliament, but we are 51% of the country as per the last survey that was nationally made. We are the minority of 51%.
It's completely necessary, then, these measures and well, the gender representation that we need. Okay, so passing to the next topic, yesterday we had a very interesting open talk, and there was some topics that we talked about to give us some insights about, for example, domestic violence. Some of the guests that came here yesterday, they were working with victims of gender violence, domestic violence, we can say, and what they agreed on is that something that is completely necessary in order to tackle this issue is education. It's completely necessary. What do you think about this?
Well, firstly, I want to say that until 2012 in Romania, we didn't even fully had a protection order to take care of our domestic violence victims. And here we're not talking only about women; they can be also men. Like, we're not excluding anyone. Right now in 2025, I can say we are not that bad in terms of legislation, in rules and laws. But the execution is made poorly in Romania. It's truly made poorly. The authorities are never ready, and I don't think they are tackling the issues as they should be tackled. We have, as I said, good laws. The victims they have some form of legal protection, but you as a victim, when you're going to the police, you're trying to file to talk about your issue and to file a report. Most of the times no one is considering you. No one has the authorities don't have fully the education and the capacity to deal with the victims and to help them through the process of gaining their independence.
Eventually, what is the message that the police officer or the institutions are giving to the women that go to the institutions and don't receive the proper help?
Well, again, I think it's basically a skill issue that we're talking about, and the fact that we don't fully prepare our authorities in terms of police institutions or whatever to properly take care of victims. There are lots of women who are also like not educated, like they don't even know about the fact that they have some liabilities, some possibilities, and they should be protected in any way, in every way. And most of them, as far as I saw and as far as I researched, aren't even stepping up and going to ask for help, because we also, I mean, it is a really really complicated issue, because first you have to deal with the social stigma and the way that the society is viewing you, and when you find the courage and take a step forward and you're going to the police or you're trying to do something about it, you might face some barriers on that side. So basically it's a long process and really hard, because we're not talking about people with full capacities. We're talking about people who are already facing some issues and are already fighting those issues. And apart from those issues, they should also fight literally the society that we live in, and to fight for themselves to regain fully their rights and their independence.
Yes. To fight the stigma, it's very important that some women don't go to look for help because they feel like they are not going to help them. So it's very important for some associations who are not part of the government to be there and to provide real help for these women. Like yesterday, we had some of the members of this association that helped them. And do you think that the way authorities treat these cases have to do to some cultural roots?
Firstly, I want to say that the NGO sector that we have in Romania, especially towards women's rights, it's incredible and is doing lots of work. But as we know, NGO sector can't be enough, and we also need the institutions and the state to do something about it. And of course, in my opinion, everything is beginning in education. Since the first years of your life, basically, whoever you are taught some rules and some social terms that are related to gender and how you view your own gender, the other gender, or whatsoever. So basically everything starts from education, and the biases and the thoughts and the beliefs that you develop are starting there. We should, in my opinion, be more careful on how we take care of our children, on how we should basically teach them to act and to think gender equally, and to leave somewhere behind the traditional role of the women and the men, and the standards that we are associating with it.
These traditional roles were there since long ago, and now they are changing thanks to, well, the women are voting now, women are working, and now they can be fully independent if they want to do so. And of course, it's necessary to tackle all the changes that this implies.
Well, I mean, fully independent isn't exactly the term that I
Not
would
now.
use, because the expectations that the society is having for you as a woman, okay, you're working, you're voting, you're having the full capability about yourself, but you're going outside and people are like, let's say you're an important person, you're dealing with the media or whatever, and the first question that they are asking is, why aren't you home taking care of your children? Who is taking care of your children? Or why don't you have children? Because for women there was always, and it is still, this double standard of, okay, you should firstly be like a good wife, a mother. You aren't fulfilling your purpose in life if you don't have a husband, some children that you are gonna take care of. And now we also have the second layer of, okay, but you should also take care about yourself. You should also have a career. You should do it all. And in my opinion, the state isn't doing really much about it. If we're looking in terms of women who are working and having children at the same time, the state isn't supporting them, in my opinion, as it should. We don't have enough kindergartens, enough state provided kindergartens for women to be able to pursue their true dreams.
And this is what we are trying to do now. We are trying to raise awareness about this topic. So we take some steps into this world in which we can all have our independence and of our own life without depending on any other gender. Thank you, Catalina, for this very interesting intervention. Uh, we agree in all the things that you said. We need to take a lot of steps in order to achieve more for the women in society. And last thing I want to talk about with you is how is it going in your action team, and what are the things that are coming for the team.
Well, firstly, I have to underline again the fact that this discrimination free campaign was and it is for me like a sole campaign, being interested in the topic since literally I know myself. The action team, in my perspective, is doing as great as the propaganda team. We have here amazing volunteers who are waiting for our listeners to come to our events and to be more interested in the topic. For next week, we have an LGBTQ plus advocacy week where we will host two events in which we want to invite you. And for the next activities that we will do, what can I say about them is to keep an eye on COSI social pages and media, and we will keep you posted on what we are gonna do next.
Thank you very much, Catalina. We will do. We encourage all our listeners to follow us everywhere if they can. And this is how we finish the chapter of today. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it really interesting. We will keep you posted for next episodes of our podcast. So thank you very much again for listening to us, and have a good week.